everyone. Welcome back to Heart Astrology Podcast. I'm Adriana, joined with my beautiful grandmother, Caitlin, here. We are back to share the Galactic Astrology that's happening currently. And we are going to be diving into the Libra Full Moon and the fixed stars that it's aligning to, and some other really important aspects that we see there, which is happening on April 13th. We'll also be sharing, of course, something we always really like doing now in our podcast, our oracle card messages on this energy. And also, we just want to remind you, we have our giveaway still going on. There's still time to enter. Please go comment on our March video. That was the video before this, talking about that new moon solar eclipse that was happening. Comment on that video and subscribe to myself, Starry Sky Readings, and Caitlin. It's still Bhakti Galactic Healing, is that correct?
Correct. I have a new email address, universallight@att.net. It's in the material. So
Perfect. Yeah, that will all be below too in the comments, so you can check that out. So you have till April 20th to enter, and you are going to be entering. Actually, there's two chances to win. So one mini galactic reading from myself, and then one, of course, from Caitlin as well. Hope to see some more people joining in on our giveaway to celebrate our podcast. We've gone over a year now, so it's our 1 year celebration for that. And if you have been watching us for the past few months and have enjoyed our videos, please do like and share our playlist. We have so much material in our earlier videos too that could still be very relevant, especially with Starseed topics and galactic astrology that might interest you.
I even go back into our videos to research things myself. We do have
Yeah.
a lot of relevant information, so don't let the date steer you away because we do incorporate quite a bit of information. So I think it is helpful. Yes, I'm Caitlin, and been doing things my whole life pretty much. I'm in my 69th year here, heading towards that seventh decade.
Aw.
So I'm still kicking.
You
And
don't look it.
thank you. I try. And but yeah, I just everything. I was very blessed with parents that my mother got me into yoga. My mother got me into astrology. My father got me into healthy eating. And I became a vegetarian in 1974 and learned so much about healthy eating. And just it's been just an amazing journey. And then, of course, Reiki came along in 1997. And that's my passion with your Papa Enzo. We love teaching Reiki. I think Reiki is so important. If we have any people watching that you do Reiki, I so encourage you to share more and to send your Reiki out to others. We did it last night. We have a Zoom group that we gather the first Sunday of the month, and we start with our families and friends, and then personal, but then out to our like community around us where you live, and then the city and the county and the state, and we're just sending it out all across the world. And then I say, let's just send it to all beings of creation. Let's share that energy, and I really feel it's very powerful, and we're coming into times where it is working more better than ever. It's just amazing. So, but making the time for it. My husband and I do it every day. So if you can do it every day, it would be incredible. Our world would be very different in a really good way.
Yeah,
Hoping
that's a big
people,
commitment.
yeah, hoping people will step forward and do it. We need to do it ourselves. We really do.
Oh yeah, I'll just do a quick little intro too. So I have been an intuitive tarot reader for over 5 years now, but I've been very much into all the woo-woo for all my life, and just been on this journey, and kind of fell off my little spiritual journey for a little bit, but then came back on it because Dark Night of the Soul came around and was like, nope, got to get you back on track. So but here I am, and I've learned so much with galactic astrology. I love how it takes it to a whole new level with astrology. Happy to be doing these past life readings that I do, and that Caitlin also does as well, where we tap into lives that are beyond our earthly realm and into other realms and dimensions with the galactic fixed stars. It's just amazing stuff and amazing connections that I'm making with people too. Especially recently, I've been getting a few Atlantis type connections, which has been really cool. It's probably part of that Pisces North Node energy too we have
Mhm.
going on this year. So, anyways, though, that's pretty much it for me. And yeah, let's just get right into this full moon energy.
So, what are the important astrological happenings in April 2025? Well, good news. Mercury went direct in Pisces on April 7th, and hopefully you're experiencing improved communications on all levels. And Venus will move into forward motion on April 12th or 13th, depending on where you are in the world, bringing with her all we have learned in our heart space. This is an internal heart space work that we've been doing. So, will you courageously move into your transformation? And this is what I call getting into the heart root energies. And I'm going to talk about that when I share the oracle card I got for this video. Also on April 12th and 13th, we'll have a full moon in Libra at 8:22 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It is called the pink moon, not because it turns pink, rather it represents the pink color of the budding trees of spring, and that's its Native American name. The April full moon is also significant because it is used to calculate the date of Easter, which is the first Sunday after the first full moon that occurs on or after the vernal equinox. So April is a relationship month. And with the Aries Libra polarity in charge right now, Aries leads with concern for self-identity, and Libra balances with concern of identity for others. So the goal with the Libra, Aries Libra pole is to hold awareness of both at the same time. Because think about it, if everything was sweet all of the time, we'd get sick of it. And then at the same time, if everything was bitter, we'd be wrinkling up our nose at the bitterness all the time. So the goal is bittersweet. And I always think of the delicious dark chocolate that's bittersweet. I love that.
Hmm.
That is just combining the two brings in the harmony, and will help promote healthy relationship energies. So the sign of Aries is so comfortable in its springtime home of origination, initiation of courageous new growth, and proactive movement. Aries loves to spring forward. The sign of Aries reminds me of the Winnie the Pooh character called Tigger. Do you remember Tigger? He loved to bounce and pounce around in great tiger fashion, initiating lots of action in the land of Pooh. The other characters could barely keep up with him, and felt he was way too exhausting. Now,
That was my favorite one.
is he your
It was my
Piglet?
favorite.
Piglet represents the Libra energies of his concern for others, quite often to the point of obsessive compulsive behaviors. Does that sound like anybody around out there? I'm sure many of us can flow into the piglet archetype. So the sign of Libra is not so comfortable in Aries' springtime home of initiating change and may choose to edit many, many times over the original plan as it slowly approaches completion, which can drive Aries nuts and have Tigger bouncing off the wall. So Aries does not like that. They want to know what we're going to do right now. And if you change the plans, they don't like it. I live with a person that has the Aries signature in his chart. And yet he's a Libra. He's in a Libra ascendant. So I don't know. I don't know what happens with that. But so anyway, so the full moon in Libra may bring a feeling of uneasiness hanging around, which may push you in Aries traditions to try and resolve situations or complete a goal way too quickly. So try to avoid living as though there is a deadline hanging over your head like a guillotine. So let the light of this full moon help you slow down, gather and hunt out all the information so that you may focus on what is for the highest good of the entire situation, not leaving anyone out, and that is including yourself. So there are two fixed stars connecting to the Sun in Aries and the Moon in Libra on April 12th, 2025. They will twinkle their galactic light to us from the Virgo constellation with the fixed star Spica, and from the Bootes constellation with the fixed star Arcturus. The Sun in Aries is opposing Spica, and it's about 52-minute opposition, so pretty close. Also, of course, because of the conjunct, the cazimi there, it's the same for the moon, but the opposite of Libra. So we still have that tight orb. And then Chiron got into this ride. Chiron in Aries is opposing Spica, and it's 1 degree and 11 minutes. So we've got all three happening, like a trinity there. Let's explore the fixed star Spica in the Holy Grail in this constellation of Virgo. Spica is the 15th brightest star in the night sky and is also known as Alpha Virginis, 250 light years from Earth, and is one of the 15 Bahamian stars of medieval astrology, which carries the magic of Hermes Trismegistus. That's a hard one to say.
Mhm.
Trismegistus. That's it. Trismegistus. You can find the fixed star Spica in the handle of the Big Dipper, down past the fixed star Arcturus. So, according to Hermes, the gemstone emerald, which is known as the gemstone of successful love, is connected to Spica. And the plant that is connected is also sage. So a lot of green colors going on with these energies. That if you'd like to know, like, do I have Spica in my chart? Do I have Arcturus in my chart? And what does that mean? You can contact us through our emails. I'm at universallight@att.net. Adriana is starryskyreadings@gmail.com. And we can do the Galactic Astrology report and reading for you. Let's talk just a little more about Spica. So the ancient astrologers realized that Spica had very similar energies of Mercury, which of course Mercury is ruling our thoughts, our mental body, and Venus, our feelings, our emotional body, combined. And right now we've been having actually for a while a lot of that going on with Mercury and Venus in close alignments. So we could say that energetically, Spican star seeds may naturally bring a mental, emotional, masculine, feminine, and yang balance into every experience in a unified perspective that embraces the value of diversity. So this is very healing for Aries Libra polarity. And then the Sun in Aries and Chiron in Aries are both opposing the fixed star Spica, creating a cazimi, an exact alignment. So the Sun in Aries may shine a bright light on the chironic wound. That's what we call it, chironic wound that's most in need of healing. So take care to check in with these questions about yourself. Am I being selfish somewhere in my life to the point of withholding empathy? This can be toward others, but also it could be toward yourself. Are you yourself in need of radical self-acceptance? What I love about the challenge of an opposing energy is that it shows up on the outside, okay, in our relationships and through interactions with others. This is where we look for what to heal inside of ourselves. So, what on the outside are you judging? Will that judgment truly heal what is on the inside? So, what to do? The Spican star sisters and brothers energies of the fifth dimension will be with us throughout the full moon and toward the end of April. You may call on their help, for they love to protect those they love with all of their heart and soul. So, what are some of their traits? And if you have this in your chart, you would have these traits as well. Expansive empathy, powerful mother nurturing energies, bringing meaningfulness to every experience, and divine humility. So what you think, Adriana?
I was gonna say I also have Spica is in my North Node as well as Arcturus too. The Spica and Arcturus energies, even though they're in different constellations, they, for me, and what readings I've done so far, it feels very, very angelic and very nurturing, as you said too, like that mother archetype that comes through. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, especially with the Bootes constellation, I've recently had some more readings involving Bootes, and it was stars that weren't Arcturus, but I was still drawing oracle cards that were angelic. So it was
Hmm.
like really confirming that Boots constellation itself is very much this high dimensional angelic realm. And
Mhm.
so it was really, really beautiful to make those connections. But yeah, so with this Libra full moon, I love that analogy that you said with Winnie the Pooh. That was very cute. It is very much this balancing of peace, harmony, of course, typical like Libra energy, rationality, fairness, even some justice too in there, because we think of the scales, the Libra scales, balancing things out. And then on the other side of that is the fiery, energetic nature of Aries. And I'm feeling so much of this fresh Aries, ambitious energy with springtime right now. I'm sure you are too. But I think our bodies right now are telling us, whoa, hold on, slow down. We're like trying to jump ahead and get these things done. But I really feel like our bodies right now are saying, hold on, slow down one step at a time with
Mhm.
this. So, especially right now, as we said, we're recording this the first
Mhm.
week of the 7th of April. So, Mercury retrograde has literally just ended. So, but we might still be feeling this throughout that post shadow as we are transitioning out of retrograde and after all those eclipses, that eclipse portal we had throughout March. So we have to really kind of do that inward reflection, like you were saying too, Caitlin, going inwards and taking that time within ourselves and listening to our bodies. And that will take care of our mental bodies as well, as you pointed out too. So that is that Libra Aries element at play. So Chiron is conjunct, as you said too, the Sun in Aries. So for me, what I pick up on with this is wounds are being illuminated at this time with that bright light of Aries. I think of the sun. We're getting so much sun over here in the UK. I hope it spreads over to you guys too in the US. I feel like we're getting hit with
Sunny.
lots of light,
It's sunny
bringing it
today.
over.
It's sunny today, but it's doggone cold out there today.
Just cold, yeah. Hopefully some more warmth comes in. This is unusual though for the UK, so I'm
Yeah.
enjoying it while I can.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's yeah, it's illuminating these wounds that are being called to our attention with Chiron next to Aries here. So the Libra full moon calls us to release, because what do we do during a full moon? We release. It is a time to release and let go of what no longer serves us so that we can make room for things that are aligned with us and for our highest good and for our path forwards here, and especially launching us forwards into this new year, this new cycle with spring. So releasing our wounds that may be holding us back. Is there anything that's blocking you in any way, even if it's just small things, doesn't have to be anything major? How can we find peace within ourselves? So before peace can be achieved through the collective, we always say, me and Caitlin have said this before in our podcast, it's always an inside job. We always have to work within in order for that to affect us outwards externally. So it is a good time to do that inner work, to reflect before we can see that change um, outwards. And are we projecting? I think there was a question you had posed about that too, with that opposition. Are we projecting certain things
Mhm.
out onto others,
Yeah.
perhaps? So,
Mhm.
looking within ourselves and really asking those questions. And this message too is confirmed very strongly with the galactic astrology of the fixed stars. Um, because Arcturus here, so I'm going to speak on Arcturus, which is in the Bootes constellation. This also brings in that same message of healing here. Ptolemy, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, the ancient galactic astrologer and mathematician, he said that Arcturus has the nature of Mars and Jupiter. Again, that fiery Aries energy with Mars kind of coming into play there as well. But Jupiter brings that expansion and growth here and healing, heart chakra healing as well. I think of that with Jupiter. It gives the natives prosperity from work, strong desires, and liking for occultism. So, again, this was according to Ptolemy via constellationofwords.com. Good resource there.
Mhm.
Arcturians, so when we go into people who may be connected to Arcturus here and these Arcturian beings here, as we call them, they are said to be etheric beings or even angelic, operating in fifth dimension or even higher, as I mentioned earlier. Dolores Cannon, one of our beloved teachers, she was so wise and really brought to light, for me personally and many others, the starseed topics and past life regression, going into these other realms and finding these connections. With her book two, she speaks on the three waves of volunteers. So Dolores Cannon herself, she is connected to this star system, and I think that really resonates so well for her. And Julia Balaz, our wonderful teacher, she did a video on YouTube here. You can check out where she actually talks about Dolores Cannon as well and her galactic connection to Arcturus. Um, I very much resonate too personally with Arcturus, with it being in my North Node. It's definitely what's calling to me through this life. With my personal galactic readings I've done, the Bootes constellation, like I said, very much an angelic realm as well as Spica, as Caitlin talked about. And what this means to me is there is a beautiful angelic energy around us at this time, helping to protect us, guide us, and encourage us to heal within. So, again, going back to looking within ourselves. And we have that angelic support here. So, if those of you out there maybe feel very in tune with your own angels, or you feel that you can connect with them, it's very heightened, I feel, at this time. And anyone who may feel so called to get in touch with their angels at this time, I feel just this beautiful, yeah, I just can't describe it any other way than angelic support really is here for us. It's feels very beautiful. It's like a veil has lifted here. So it's coming through here, and even if it feels rough, just you can feel that support coming through. So don't miss out on that, and with everything else going on in our collective. So but yeah, learning to find also cooperation and harmony collectively. That's a big thing for us to do. And it's not an easy one to do, right?
Right, right.
It's a lot of work to put into. But remember, it starts here within ourselves and looking at ourselves. We got the Libra scales coming into play, balancing things out. So anything you want to add with what I shared with that, Caitlin?
I think you covered it really well. What I'd like to do, Adriana, is pull up the charts that I forgot to pull up.
Yes, yeah, go right ahead. Yeah, I was gonna say I forgot to too, but that's okay.
So I've been talking about Spica. I'd like to show you where it is in our galactic chart. Now, this is showing up for where it would be in Cleveland, Ohio region. So right over here in the moon in Libra, you see Spica here, Sun, which is opposing right here, and that's in Aries. Okay, so we've got the Libra Aries polarity going on right here. Interesting, we've got a little bit of Andromeda galaxy going on as well. And I
Hmm.
didn't talk about Izar or the Shapely Attractor, but they too are part of this. And it's interesting when you talked a little bit about Izar, or excuse me, the Bootes constellation, that Izar is part of that as well. So,
Yes, and that definitely has the angelic vibration as well, if you want to call it that. The angelic energy is definitely in Azar.
oh,
Some
it's
people
both.
get a little put off.
It's low vibration too. It has both. It
It's
has What it does have, it has the dragons, the ancient dragons actually were able to vibrate at such a high frequency that they, not intentionally, it was just their own frequency, chased out the lower level reptilians that were in Izar, which is kind of fascinating. So um, they could not live in that vibration. And I feel there's something to be said about that. Going on is the more we raise our voices, the more we vibrate up higher, we may be able to get rid of a lot of lower frequency things going on Earth in our own vibrations here.
So it's kind of interesting to compare it a bit because obviously I'm in the UK. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so my chart, it looks very similar, but obviously you'll see that it's in different houses for the UK. So yours was, I saw in the 12th house, and the sun was in the 6th house for you. So maybe something with ancestral and then healing, wellness, daily routines at play for that region, the eastern part of the U United States.
Mhm.
So for mine here, we got the 9th house where the moon is. So more, philosophical things or learning what have we learned, so maybe for the
Mhm.
UK specifically over here, it's more of a learning curve here. And then, of
Yep.
course, the communication with third house, so how we speak and thinking again about those Mercury retrograde things that have gone on. But
Hmm.
yeah, with these are too, I just wanted to add when you mentioned that, I'm glad you brought that up, called the more negative aspect to it kind of overshadows the angelic part of Izar because it was supposedly taken over in that realm with these negative beings. But um, whenever I've had recently, I think that's why I feel called to talk about this because recently I've connected with people who had past life connection to Izar. And it was very much like this beautiful sense of tribal community. But
Hmm.
again, the angel cards came out because when I do readings, I pull out my oracle cards and I was getting the angelic cards coming through. So it felt like the time before these negative beings came in, or they were in a totally different dimension from
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
these other ones came through. So
Yeah.
very just beautiful.
I had a client too, and that's how I found out about that. That it was
Yeah,
just
it's amazing, right?
amazing ancient dragons that were. It's kind of like their dimension was overriding the dimension of the lower reptilians, and because they kind of lived in there like how we have beings that come through our 4D. So it's kind of like that. They were in that type of an energy, but I think it was a higher frequency than that. So they were kind of unaware of one another, but the vibration changed where the field in the
Yeah.
lower field could not handle it. It's kind of like if somebody was blowing a dog whistle 24/7. That's
Mm,
what I think
yeah.
of, it was just like, whoa, they just couldn't handle the vibration. And I feel the
Hmm.
higher we keep raising the vibration, the more we do the Reiki, the more we do the things that we do, because that's who we are, star
Hmm.
seeds, be our star seed selves. It's going to become to a point where those who cannot handle that vibration are going to either have to change or they will leave. This is kind of what's going to be happening. I really believe that. Where will they go? I
Wow.
don't know. Some may just cross over. They may choose
Laying
to
down
cross.
the hammer there.
And what's interesting, I mentioned earlier in the video, but I talked about the Big Dipper and how Spica and Arcturus, not sure about Izar because I didn't see it, but I know Arcturus is in the lower part of the handle of the Big Dipper. So
Hmm.
even though they are from two different constellations, that's how
Right.
huge Big Dipper is. So this is why we call it big. Yeah, a lot of constellations are within there. It's kind of fascinating.
That was nice to share with Boots Constellation some of our knowledge from our experiences that we both have had with readings. So very cool. Do you
So
want to share your card first then?
yes, let's do that. Let's
Get into our cards.
the card that I had pulled is from this new deck I have. Um, this is the Beyond Lemuria by Izzy Ivy. And I really like this deck. I've gotten two more Oracle decks, so I'm really going Oracle crazy right now. but I'll share that in our next video. But the card that came out, and I'll tell you, this card came up for many people that I've been pulling cards for. And let me see if I can get it in the right spot. It's the root chakra card in her deck. And I feel, and I actually, when I picked for this, it came up twice. So, we are multidimensional beings having a human experience right now. So, being human is currently in a major overhaul. I'm sure every one of us are feeling the changes we are moving through. So, for many, every aspect of our lives, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, and materially, are all being affected. And it can be an extremely ungrounding experience. And then Gaia herself is going through changes too. She's becoming lighter and less dense, and so are we. So I really truly believe this is all part of the ascension process that we're going through. So if you look a little more deeply at this card, you're going to see um, a butterfly down at the base, and it's just this transformation of rising up through the chakras. So the butterfly at the base, and then we've got a second chakra, third chakra, and then towards the top, I feel like the top for this particular card is showing the heart chakra. And that's where I wanted to mention about the heart root. I feel we are building a whole new chakra system. My guides tell me that the heart root, our sternum, is the new first chakra as we move into the new earth. And so that we will from this place here, logarithmically, we will be expanding our chakra system from our traditional, more vertical awareness to spherical, so that it's going to go all directions at once. And so we would have a first chakra level across from our heart chakra, but then we'll have a second level in the heart root, and then a third level in the heart root. We'll have different expansive energies, higher vibrations. So we are going to be fine tuning these systems. It probably will have to give new names to everything. I don't know what else to call it right now. I'm just trying to use terminology that people could a little bit associate with. But it's kind of like, as we move outward this way, then we're maybe heading into haric chakras, like we would feel the heart chakras in the more vertical, and then when we ground down into Mother Earth. But this is expanding logarithmically. So I really feel that. And this card it really fits what's going on right now. I called it a butterfly, but as I really look at it more closely, so there we go. It's a moth. It's a huge moth. That's
Yeah,
really what. So
beautiful.
moth attracted to the flame up at the top too. And that's what's helping us to rise up to the light out of the dark. Okay, that's the card.
Wow, that was beautiful. Yeah, I like how you explained that with the heart chakra kind of going to a whole new level.
Heart root. Yep, the heart
Yeah, heart
root.
root. Yeah.
New first chakra, whole nother way of utilizing perspective in our experience.
It's very much in line to what I also got. So normally, those of you who've watched our podcast, normally I will get a tarot card, but because of the angelic energy, I did want to pull from one of my angel cards, of course, to very fitting. So it's the romance angel oracle deck. So more of a romantic tone to it, but how beautiful that lined up with the heart root chakra because I have the beautiful soulmate card that comes out here. Do you see that okay? Soulmate card. It says, yes, this is your soulmate. And to me, this isn't just an external soulmate, but this is about you and yourself. So this feels very much like getting in touch, like what we were saying earlier with the astrology, going within ourselves, loving ourselves, and really working through things in order to love ourselves. So going through the hard things, facing our shadows, that is sometimes the only way you can get to truly valuing yourself. So I think of even the Lover's card in the tarot deck, which is like a mirror.
Hmm.
It can be like a mirror, like two people looking at each other. So again, it's mirroring yourself and your own inward reflection. How do you view yourself? How do you value yourself? So it is a very much, to put it bluntly, a self-love message coming through, but very much aligned to that heart root chakra that you were talking about as well. So really getting deep there. I
And
did have something else. Did you want to add anything for
at the
the other card?
Aries Libra polarity as well.
Very Libra. Yes, yes.
That's everything you've explained. It
The
aligns.
scales.
And then we could also look at that, as you said too. So I love that soulmate because the soulmate within, as you're saying, could be our highest self. And
Yeah.
our highest self is
Hmm.
to help us to live within this new chakra system. So
Mm.
better than that, if we're looking inward,
Yeah.
um, finding that inner divine feminine, that inner divine masculine, and raising our vibration, okay, to live in a different way, yet still be embodied as a human, but
Hmm.
a part of us that is at a much higher frequency. This is what I'm really sensing. And we are heading there. It's going to take time, but we're heading there for sure.
I like that you've added that. The divine masculine and feminine, like
Mm,
these two here could represent that as well. Yep,
absolutely.
definitely finding that balance within ourselves. You can find it, within another person, but that's not really going to resolve anything. You have to find that within yourself, of course. So,
And
yeah,
then the
beautiful
person,
connection.
and then the person who can best reflect that will be there in
Yeah,
your, yeah.
absolutely.
Whether it's
Hmm.
the current person who also is going through a transformation and you see one another differently because
Hmm.
you're both, you know. So I see, so the key is with that grounding card, we have to stay grounded into that higher place, not needing to be so overly physically grounded. We have to get comfortable with being a lighter expression of the divine as a,
Mm.
and
Hmm.
it does feel very ungrounding. I think that's kind of what we're feeling today.
Yeah,
It,
yeah, me too. Yeah,
it
we
really
both
does.
are. Hmm.
Because we're feeling the higher frequency coming in.
Yeah.
So very
Yeah, I
cool.
wonder if do you know if there's been any solar flares? Have you checked on any of that recently by
Yeah,
chance?
actually, it hasn't been that because we've had very little flaring compared to what we've had in the past.
Hmm. Okay.
We had
Yeah.
an M561, and this was a few days ago. What we did have, and if you follow Space Weather Live, I recommend that site.
It's
You
good.
you can actually see they show you the dark green line where it goes down, and it there was like very little action on the sun. That gets a little concerning when you see that.
Hmm.
I don't know enough about the astronomy parts of this, but I would love to
Sure.
find out what that represents because all of a sudden it's just dropping down past A, down really low. So I don't know what that means. So, but I
Hmm.
will search
Yeah.
it. I could report in a future video in May or something. 'Cause I
Maybe
really
the
do.
sun's taking a little break.
Well, we don't want that to happen
Yeah,
because if that
just taking
happens,
a little, just a little
that
bit.
happens, or if Mother Earth decides not to spin anymore, we're in trouble.
Uh, yeah.
Need
Well, we're
all the
definitely getting the sun
magnetics
up here.
functioning. I mean, if we could have a pole shift, but we don't want a physical pole shift, astral pole shift, a magnetic pole shift, that's different. And we've gone
Hmm.
through some of those. I've experienced them in all the years of doing healing work where literally the energy that was at the top of the head goes down by the feet. And that's a pole shift, astrally and magnetically. But we do
Hmm.
not, if we have a physical pole shift, then that's like what wiped out the dinosaurs. That's kind of
Yeah, that's
scary.
not good. Yeah.
That's not good.
No.
That's not, and I was listening to Robert E. Grant on, oh, what's his name? Alex's channel. Anyway, but Robert E. Grant talked about this with Alex on his program. It's just not coming to me what the name of his show is, but very famous guy. And yeah, that was kind of scary what he was talking about if that could happen on a physical level. We do not want that. I heard somebody else talking about this too, that,
Hmm.
we have to be more humble. We think that, we control this earth. The earth controls us. The elementals are in charge, 100%. I've learned this a long time ago. And if Mother Earth is going to go through changes, and we're like little parasites or fleas on Mother Earth, and we can just be flung off. I mean, that's the truth. We have to really get aware of that, who is in charge. We think
Mm-hmm.
it's humans and this and that. No, it's the elemental beings and the great beings, planetary beings that we study in astrology are very much in control. And the more you study it, the more you realize it. So,
Yeah, the problem too, like with people, doing the weather manipulation, it backfires
oh yeah,
on us
yeah.
basically. So you don't mess around with Mother Nature. So when are we going to learn as humans? Like we can't be trying to do too much
Yeah.
manipulation with things, manipulating too much of what's natural and part of nature. So
What
it's being
happened with COVID?
pushed, pushed and pushed. Yeah.
And nature says, okay, here you go. I'm going to take care of all my little plants and all the beings that I love, my elementals, and you're going to have to shut your world down for a while.
Oh, yeah. Well, I would agree that that's part of it, but I would also agree that there's another part of that too, but we won't get into all that.
No, I'm just Earth's response to that is what I'm talking about.
Well,
That,
yeah, and it was a good opportunity. That was probably the only good thing out of it, was
yeah.
that Mother Earth got to like have a break to heal from all the pollution and everything. So yeah, absolutely. Just one more card to share. That was on the bottom of the deck that I just wanted to quickly um bring to our attention. So pay attention, speaking of attention, pay attention to the red flags. This to me calls back the Chiron conjunction to the sun in Aries. So again, that sun and Aries blasting onto our wounds. Okay, red flags here. Are we looking at them? Hello, here they are. So waving those red flags, maybe we're um, have our rose tinted glasses on, so to speak, with certain things, or kind of needing to see the warning signs. So the signs are cautioning you, it says. Again, that goes back to that Chiron, the wounds here. So pay attention to that. So just something to think about. But of course, doing that inward reflection and that self-love, connecting to our highest self, our inner selves, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, getting getting to the root here. Okay, so that's all I really have to share. Anything else you want to add today, Caitlin?
Well, just a reminder that we have our sweepstakes coming up till on April 20th. So if you can like, subscribe, and then send to our emails, you will be entered in this sweepstakes. So with this video, you have another opportunity, or you can go to our March video, the previous one as well. We didn't talk about, but the Pegasus that we've talked about, it has been in all three, and it's still there. So I didn't bring them in. It's not as strong as it was, but it's still there um,
Mm-hmm.
at this point right here. So, but yeah. So the Pegasus constellation is still very involved, and I think that's very good. I think that too is a very high angelic energy.
We hope to see some feedback from some of you, whether you're entering in for our lovely giveaway or if you want to share some thoughts on how you're feeling with these current energies. Thank you so much for tuning in to this podcast, and we will see you in the next one.
Namaste.